hello, good evening, and welcome. My name is Mike Moritz, and the name of this video is Ranking the Eurovision Song Contest 2024, open brackets, an opinionated guide, close brackets. Not the most original title, but what you see is what you get. This is a sequel video to my 2025 rankings. And before we get into things, I have some words. So, two things. One, the 2024 contest was fraught. Fraught with what? Yes. This video will not be talking about things that happened at the contest. Things that happened around the contest, and things that happened in the world while the contest was occurring. I will just be talking about the songs that were entered in the contest. For instance, that moment when they wheeled out Karia just to go out of their way to say, hey, that song that everyone really, really loved. Yeah, isn't it great that that didn't win? Ho, ho, ho. That's the only time I'm going to be mentioning it. So all you're going to be getting is just straight up ranking the 37 songs. The second thing that I will going to be talking about is that this contest sucked. It sucked. I'll be honest, I struggled with this one a lot. I started it basically as soon as I finished my 2025 one, and it's now July. And I'm starting I've started ranking for my 2023 video, and I'll tell you, it is so much easier to rank and find a through line and just have fun with that contest. This one, there's just a lot of fine. So, in order to not be negative all the time, I set myself a challenge. And that was, I wanted to search for gold. Now, I knew the big songs that I loved, but I wanted to dive deep and really see if there was anything that spoke to me that I had missed or I had underrated. I don't think that I will be able to save the contest by the time this video's out, but I think that there's probably some gold in there that I've missed. So that's our through line. Anyway, the rules for the contest are the same as last year, which is that I will be ranking them from my least favorite to my most favorite. Technical quality is being considered, but the basic kind of through line for how we're going to be ranking this is if we were just having a discussion and you said, Mike, give me a song from 2024. How likely am I going to recommend this song? So the top 10 songs listed in the contest will get points in the traditional 12, 10, and then 8 through 1 points that Eurovision uses. And then at the end of the rankings, we will be adding up the points with the points from 2025, and we'll be having a bit of a look at that. Australia's entries don't get a proper ranking, or they don't get points if they're in the top 10, because, as per Eurovision rules, you can't vote for your own country. I will place them where they would be in the list irregardless, but they will get an honorable mention, and I will talk about them. So anyway, having said all of that, let's dive in. United by Music. It is the Eurovision Song Contest 2024, and we start off with number 36. Excuse me, I need a drink for this one. Cheap wine and a 3-day growth. Coming in at the bottom, it's Greece. So I can make about 6 seconds for this one. The opening line in that really high register hurts me so much, and I remember what this song is, and I skipped to the next one. I had to force myself to listen to this song, and I had to force myself to watch this song, and let me tell you, it does not improve. The stuttering beats, the mid-tempo rhythm, that faux ethnic synth, all the different parts of this song feel strange and uncomfortable to me, and I don't like how she's singing it, and I don't like the staging, and honestly, that skirt that she's wearing looks like an adult diaper in need of a change. And I thought maybe like if I read the lyrics, maybe that might help me, but I don't understand the lyrics. Like, is she sad? Is she determined? Is she mourning? Is she hopeful against the concept of hope? I at this point, I just have to throw this in the pile of, I am now an old man and I don't know what the Zoomers are doing in their ticky-tockies and their Robloxes. Because let me tell you, this song gives me pain. Number 35. Nendest nar yuki kum midest etea mi kul midagi by 5 minus and pull up. It's Estonia. Please never make me say that again. I've actually got something to actually talk about here because I really don't like being that negative. I love the whole, hey, officer, I don't know whose drugs these are. That's good gimmick. The problem is it just kind of hits this one groove, and it just kind of stays there. I think what they're trying to do is rely on vocal variants between the various vocalists to carry you through the song. But if there is any, I can't really make it out. I know that there's one guy who's more gravelly. That's all I've got. Also, the staging for a song with this sillier premise should be funnier. Like, they're all just being intimidating and black and dressed in black, and two of them have the vroom, vroom, vroom thingies, the instruments. But there's no attempt to perform the song out physically, which when you're in a different language and you've got a high concept, you need more staging to really get it across. I'm not mad, Estonia, I'm just disappointed. Number 34. Moldova. Alright, I'm going to warn you here. The next 10 entries are more or less a bee stick apart, and it took me literal months to untie this knot into a cohesive ranking. The reason this video has taken so long is because I've just stared at the bottom half of this list and just wondered, what am I doing? So, very interchangeable, these next ones. Moldova is here at the bottom because I don't understand what it's trying to do. I can't get my teeth into whatever message it's trying to convey. The clothing really reads very classical, and there's fertility imagery, and she's got wings, and she's playing violin. And then there's, I don't know how to describe it, non-verbalized singing. It's not like scat, but it's not words. It's obviously intended to be the centerpiece of the song. It's what the song is built around, but I don't understand what it means with regards to everything else. I honestly feel like I don't have the vocabulary to describe what's going on here, and that's doubly hard, because even if I did, I don't know how I feel about it. Number 33, San Marino. Alright, coming into this list, I remembered really liking 1111. But as I'm ranking it, I couldn't understand why, because I'm listening to this on Spotify, I'm doing this, in between, when I'm working, or if I'm out, or if I'm driving, I've got this playing, and I'm trying to rank this, and for the most part, it feels like a long stretch without much differentiation between the verse and the chorus, and then there's two different breakdowns, and the various parts have little cohesion, if any, with each other, and if I'm brutally honest, what parts there are fine at best. If you forced me to, I guess I would say that the chorus is the best bit. I like how it sounds, and I like how she sings it. And I just couldn't remember why I liked it so much. And then I watched the live performance, and it all made sense. Because the staging here is gorgeous. I love that the neon goth look, pink and black, work so well together, and they really wear it well. The costume changes, the cartoons on the Tron behind them. It's a cohesive visual design that is visually engaging, and while it is garish, is not ugly. I don't think I ever want to listen to this song again, but I do want to watch it again. Number 32. I'm going to need another drink at this point, because I know what's coming. Malta. Alright, at this rate, my arch enemy is going to be the Maltese bookies. Because I feel like the entire 20s has felt like I am on crazy pills, where they send these songs that are profoundly mediocre at best with a bunch of hype behind them, and this is the worst of the decade. I don't want to be the guy who compares songs to other songs. I think every song should stand on their own. But this song feels so fundamentally formulaic, I don't know how to address it. So if you will forgive me for using the shorthand, this song is Je me casse without the fun. It's serving without the playful sexuality. The staging, it's ripping straight from the book of Fuego or Slow-Mo, except without the stage presence that Eleni and Chanel have. And also it's apparently taking place in Iron Man's arc reactor. I don't know how to engage with this song without comparing it to other better songs. But at least it feels cohesive. Number 31, Albania. Titan. I think the thing that interests me most about this song is that the title is in all caps, with the exception of the I. And I think this is a message. Because I am a Titan in disguise. I really hope that that's the case, because if that is super clever. Viewers, I struggle with Albania a lot, and I'm going to assume that it's because Albania has a musical tradition and they hew to that, and I have no grounding in how to approach that. There's like two different verses, one's sung, one's kind of rapped, and there's a chorus I kind of like, and then a breakdown and a tempo kick up with a dance beat. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with this, and the staging is nice, and she's singing it well, but none of this lands for me. I do hope I'm right on the title, though. Number 30, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have Iceland. So there is a line in the first verse, which says, and I quote, "I'm not one to take risks." And boy howdy it shows, because what we have here is a profoundly mid, faux empowering pop disco track with choral backing. Ooh. Look, it's not terrible. This is pleasant to listen to. However, this is a dated millennial throwback, and I feel obliged to say, we aren't all this lame. Even S Club was never this lame, and they were S Club. That's S Club is my point of reference. Like, utterly toothless, nominally uplifting, staged horribly, which is actually something that S Club has over her. The gold sequins are not flattering. The pyro feels like it's there out of obligation, and the back screen feels like it's showing the green room from one of the past contests than anything relevant to the song. I think it's 2015. I think it's the green room from 2015. I may be wrong. Look, Hera represented Iceland back in 2010, and I was no fan of Je ne sais quoi, but if I can use her own lyrics against her, she's been here before, and she never got it right. Number 29. It's actually been going at a quicker pace than I thought it was. Number 29, we're going to be going to Georgia. So I want to reiterate here that this bracket of songs is extremely close for me. I am, like, splitting hairs and then splitting those hairs in order to get some kind of cohesive ranking. I could rearrange some of these songs and easily be content. So, what have we got here? We've got another woman singing a big empowering track, 4 boys dancing around her with a red ring in the background. This song is just Malta, but better. The melody isn't very stirring, but she's singing it well, and I sure like the pyro. She uses like both fire and lightning imagery. That changes things up. I like that. I would say that this song is one that doesn't move me, but we are at least given a good show. But what actually, you know what is actually sticking with me more than the songs that we've had before are the lyrics, because they don't make sense, and the more I think about them, the less I kind of like it. So she's born again from the fire like a phoenix, but she's fighting the fire. Is she fighting the fire that will destroy her, or is the fire giving her wait, fire. Is this a pun? Did Georgia send a pun? Number 28, Slovenia. Now, Slovenia is either a country I either adore or I crate at them. Rarely do I feel mid about their entries. And unfortunately, this is the latter. Okay, credit where credit's due. The staging is really nice. She's giving us this kind of vengeful water spirit energy. And the backing dancers, they're all suitably intense for the song. There's good use of both the smoke machines and the wind machines as well. But buoyed as she is by atmospheric staging, this is, Raven, lest I remind you, a song contest, and this song does not work for me. I don't like the noise that she makes at the start. I don't feel like the emotion that she's singing, but I do acknowledge that that emotion is there. I just don't feel it. I will say that watching the live performance and having her icy blues glare at you does actually help a lot. But when I'm listening to this on my lunch break in a noisy food court, I'm getting none of this. This is a damning indictment on Veronica, because I know what's coming higher up in the list, and there are songs that I feel very little about. But, like, Raven's great. Her stage presence is chilling. But as a song, I feel cold. Number 27. Portugal. Help, I'm drowning in intense women over here. Take bets on who's likely to shank me. Alright, so one thing that Portugal has over other countries is that I love listening to Portuguese being sung. And because I'm listening to the album more than I'm watching the show, I feel that's helping Yolanda a lot here. I like the pace, and I like the beat. And that hook is pretty memorable too. But where I'm getting lost with is the meaning. I couldn't really fathom it for the staging, and when I looked up the translation of the lyrics, I didn't really get a good grip on it, though maybe it was a bad translation. So what I think is happening here is that the dancers are like weights, or they're ghosts that are like holding on to her, puppeting her, stalking her, and she's like pushing on in spite of them. Like, maybe I'm way off base, but the thing is that this song has extremely minimal staging, and when you have nothing to go on, I kind of have to bring more of myself to the table here. So I guess if I had to describe Portugal's song here, it's that even if I don't understand it, I at least like listening to it. Yeah, finishing my wine here, because at number 26 is Ramonda by Teodora from Serbia. Ever forwards, slightly improving. So Serbia's really good at ballads, and this one just hits harder than other ones on the list so far. I think it's more vulnerable, it's more intimate, it's more raw. Like, I don't really like this song, but when I listen to it, I feel the pain she is imbuing into her performance. To reference my 2025 video, this does not count as a prophecy rock. She is on that rock because she is miserable, and she might be about to make a very permanent decision with regards to her life choices. The staging she's surrounded by storms and seas, and it's dark, and the way that she dances, she can barely stand. But as the song goes on, she manages to push the clouds back and is eventually able to see the flowers bloom. And that's why I picked this picture here. I could have picked some really good moments earlier on in the show, but I really wanted to symbolize with this one, because you don't need to speak Serbian to understand what this song's about. This is a dark, dark song about hope. And sometimes you just cling onto the smallest of images to get you through the hard times, and sometimes that's enough. I really appreciate that, especially in the 20s now, we get dark and intimate stuff like this at Eurovision, because while this isn't something that I'd frequently seek out, I might be having a really bad day and I might just need to look for the flowers. Sorry, I'm actually crying. Oh God. Actually literally tearing up just thinking about Ramonda. All right. What do we have next? Breakup anthem with sand imagery and a weird CGI copy of her on screen. I don't quite get it myself, but it's strident anthemic. Thank you, Denmark. Number 25 is sand. I will point out that the title is in all caps, and I wish I could believe that was intentional. There are a lot of majuscule titles this year, and while yelling sand does occur in the song, I can't help but feel like this is performative. You could decapitalize the title and lose nothing. It's fine. Like a dozen other Eurovision entries about overcoming adversity and screaming sand only gets you so far. It's 25 because it's performed. It's well performed. It doesn't make me want to cry. Number 24. Belgium. Wait, hold on. Before the party is over. This one's in all caps on Spotify, but it's in normal text on YouTube. Now I don't know what's going on. But I guess that's standard operating procedure for Belgium now, isn't it? Belgium consistently gives 0 Fs about what everyone else is doing and just they send a thing. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's art. This is very much art. I don't like the staging for this one. This is a dark, moody club track. And he's all white and spangly. And there's warm orange lighting. I like the cage of microphones. That's a cool look, but I don't know what it means. Yeah, actually, you know what? I really like this one, how the title will creep up on you in the background before the party is over. And then, like louder, it like gets more and more through the backing vocals, and then he's belting it at end. That before the party is over is just like, it belts it super well, and it gives that song a nice dramatic arc through the performance in the song. It gives it somewhere to go. He nails it. And the problem is that moment and the build to that moment in a vacuum is fine. But the rest of the song doesn't really go out to make itself anything. Like, there are songs higher in this list that I would say are dark and atmospheric. And this is almost there. But I only really start vibing with it once the title drops. Number 23... it's Azerbaijan. And I'll be honest, I don't really know what happened here. Because it should be a winner, but I feel like Azerbaijan whiffed. This is not the last time on the list that we are going to hear about hurricanes. But to compare with songs that we've already discussed, this is more successful at being dark and moody. And it's got that instrumentation that gives it the kind of Eastern European, Eurasian vibes. And the problem is that for a song that I understand to be about the supporting power of love, the music here seems more to be dwelling in the dark places. Now, it's deeply rich with really nice harmonies, but nothing about this song says love to me. Like the costuming and the depiction of these women or goddesses that you've got and the Tron behind them. It's a desert and it's made out of sand and she's made out of sand and there's a black moonlit landscape. Like the whole experience is very dark. But it's not sad, not melancholic. It's beautiful, but it's darkly beautiful. Beyond the excellent mood, I do feel like it never really shifts out of first gear. I don't hate it, but I'm never seeking it out. Anyway, excuse me a moment. Before we get to 22, remember when I said the next few are pretty close together? We've just finished that bracket. 34 to 23 were super close. And I spent a long time figuring out how they felt. Give me 6 months from now, I might feel completely different. So all of those songs, if you disagree with the rankings, I probably do too. I had to find something to split them up. Anyway, we're now going to crack on. And we go number 22, Israel. So, do you have your notebooks ready? Because I have something I would like to get. So get your little biros and take your little pens out. I don't know if you heard me taking the lid off a pen there. I was trying to do a mime, but anyway. If you are singing a song about pain and torment, and I do not hear it in your voice, I am checking out. Nothing in this entire performance sounds like she is suffering or even experiencing anything approaching angst. It's technically exquisite. But she could easily be singing about loving love lovingly with love. The backing dancers are literally prancing. This is less of a hurricane and more of a pleasant spring breeze that's cinematically waving her dress. Azerbaijan felt more tempestuous than this, and that song feels like the hot wind before a dust storm, but not the actual dust storm. Like, I do legitimately think she's singing well, and I've got to admit, I am a sucker for a switch to Hebrew. Because I never see it coming, and they always get me, and I love it every time. But there is nothing in this performance, or the staging, that matches the lyrical content, and that is really disappointing. Number 21. Alright, remember about half an hour ago when I started this video and I said that I had a goal. And my goal was that I wanted to search for gold in this contest. I wanted to find for songs that I had underrated and slept on. I found 3 songs that I thought that I had massively underrated. And from when I originally listened to the contest months ago, and now when I'm recording it, have shifted the most in their rankings. 21 is the first of them. And originally, it was down in the 30s. But here, at number 21, it's Latvia. Okay, yeah. Like, it's another male song, power ballad, and we've had so many of these in the contest over the years. And they're always so very, like, mid, and it's like, like there's a crying or something like that. And it's like, the more I listen to Hollow, damn, like, these lyrics are something else. And Don's he is belting. I don't know who or what hurt the man in this song, but he is dealing with some stuff and crying out in devastated pain. Like the costuming is weird. The molded vest chest thing, I don't know, but I'm not sure about the stage with like the emotion ring and the stuff on the Tron. But there's this moment I was watching in the live show where he's singing it, and then the corners of his mouth just drop. Like, he's doing his big, Broadway, like, big, keep the mouth open and wide. But it even gets too much for him, and he starts feeling the song. And you see it on his face, and it just gets me. Rediscovering how good Hollow is was like being hit by a freight train. Okay, this is a bit of a random comparison, but it reminds me of Jeff Buckley. Now, granted, this song is nothing like Jeff would have sung, right? But I don't know, because I know Jeff has had a reappraisal and has got a whole lot of new fans, but back in the day, Jeff Buckley was a guy who you either got or you didn't get, right? His songs and how they landed with people, if you understood them, they shook you to your very core. And if you didn't, you thought that he was just a waste of time. And that is how I feel about Hollow. Number 20. I feel like I'm going to cut some heat here, but it's Italy. It may be criminal to put this low, but I have a damn good reason. The song makes me anxious. It is so successful at managing to musically evoke the feelings of boredom and antsiness that she's singing about that I don't want to listen to this song. Like, much like the last entry, the woman in this song is not okay, and she is open about it. The music has that tense feeling. I can't describe it. It's like my skin is prickling with discomfort. And the rapid fire lyrics that she just spews out, it's like it's like a stream of consciousness panic attack. And Angelina's performance is also on point, like the listlessness, the pain, and the angst on her face all the way through. There's a reason I took this shot as the indicative photo for this song. This is a masterclass in just being a total package. It is in no way at number 20 because it is bad. There are songs that I think are technically worse, higher on this list. The thing is that I can listen to those ones without feeling on edge. Number 19, and in comparison to the last two, this one's relatively easy to break down. A French song sung in French about love. Sung by a French Algerian too, just to add that extra bit of smolder. I feel like this song is what you'd call the safe bet. There's nothing really bold about the staging. I think the camera work is kind of intimate. He likes touching the lens a bit, but otherwise it's fairly functional. The bit that I've got on screen now is the bit where he really stands back from the mic and he does his best David Bowie's in Heroes to really belt it, and it sounds amazing. But if I'm honest, that's the handbag of the performance. It's the gimmick where you say, it's the one where he does the thing. At its heart, this song is nothing but a formulaic French love ballad number 496. Expertly crafted, well performed, but now, here at this point, let us not pretend that this isn't a safe entry. Number 18. United Kingdom. I think this one might be a bit gay. I've actually been trying to nut this one out, and I think my issue with Dizzy is one of mixed messaging. the choreography, the dirty bathroom aesthetic, the spoken word bridge, and the overall kind of club feel feels like it wants to take it into a really sweaty, low light, smoky environment where everyone's on poppers and there's like a square inch of free space on the dance floor. But Ollie's singing it in a very pop way. Now, I'm not familiar with his work either by himself, if he has any, I don't even know, or with, is his band Years and Years? Is that the name of it? I think it is. So maybe this is a weird claim, but I feel like he's singing it more intimate sexy, and the presentation is trying for more primal sexy. I don't know how you solve that problem. It feels very foundational. I originally thought, in my first draft of this script, I thought it was a writing conflict. Like there were too many cooks. But there's only 2 guys on the writing team, and one of them is Ollie himself. So maybe it's him who's unsure of which way to take it and he's fence sitting? I would need more experience with his music to really make sure. Either way, it's good, but it could be better. Number 17. Sweden! See now, this, friends. This is how you fuse dark, sexy club music with pop. But come on, are we surprised that the Swedes do good pop? It's basically their house special. Anyone? House special. Because it's a club song, house. Never mind. Alright, so I have one kind of big issue with this one. You spend all this time absolutely dunking on this femme fatale. And at the end of this scathing character profile is she's unforgettable. It's a bit of a non-event, really. Like, I get that you're saying that you enjoy this behavior. And you know what? You're allowed to like what you like. However, to be consenting to behavior that you directly acknowledge is toxic, only to not explicitly state that you are actively encouraging it, it's a level of simping that I honestly am not entirely sure would appeal to the woman you're singing about. My point is, simp harder, fellas. You really need to let her know that all the red flags are green flags for you. Number 16. Norway. This is another one where its position is not because I don't think it's great, but more because I personally don't like this kind of music. I think this song is hauntingly beautiful. They really evoke the mythic Norwegian past through the use of traditional instruments and especially those harmonies. And even without knowing that the lyrics were taken from an Old Norse folk tale, this song feels like it has an old soul. It feels cold and primal. And just that feeling that the Norse era stirs up in me. Look, as good as it is in evoking that specific mood, it's not a mood that I find pleasant. The music is too harsh for me to casually listen to, and there isn't much in the way of a conventional hook. Look, if I'm completely open here, this song, when I first drafted it, was at number 9, and I was even drafting up like end cards to like actually do the video production. But the more I sat with the list, it wasn't working, and Ulvaham dropped to 16. I think it is a flawless execution of what it is trying to be. But unless I'm in a particular mood, this isn't for me. Number 15. Armenia. Wait. Now the artist is in all caps on YouTube and not Spotify. Who's ever doing the typesetting for the Eurovision YouTube channel, you are now my new enemy. Right? The Maltese bookies can move back. Right, where was I? Alright, Armenia. This is a nice, fun bit of folk-flavoured pop. Unlike Norway, we've got hooks for days. A catchy horn line, a good call and response section, an infectious earworm of a melody, and bright, poppy energy on stage. Which is all to say, it's too much. It's like my opposite issue with Estonia, in that it locks in an energetic groove at the start, and Jaco just freaking goes and barely breathes. I wonder if it is because they're attempting to evoke the kind of over-energetic, precocious nature that Jaco had, or I guess has, in the song. The staging is very maximal and very apropos, but it's just so much. Success on that front, if true, but it is a lot. Wait, Wikipedia says that the band's name is supposed to be in majuscule lettering? So it's Spotify that's wrong? Well, oh, I give up. Number 14. Hi, my name is Mike, and if you stick around here, you'd best be prepared for unabashed apologism for the German entries in Eurovision. It's a problem I've been dealing with Miss Kiss Kiss Bang. I'm dealing with it, but I'm already regretting putting Baller as low as it was on the 2025 list. I'm seeking help about it. It'll be fine. So, Always on the Run. With this one, whenever I listen to it, I actually always think of the staging first. Even when I haven't seen the video in months. I think of the staging like he's singing in a burning, derelict building. It's a fantastic use of pyro here. But if I want to talk about the song itself, this is a soulful, passionate vocal and a thumping drum line. The live version seems to have done without like the elephant trumpets that are on the studio version, or at least they've buried them so far in the mix that I can't hear them. Let me try and explain this one. All right. If you were to say to me, what's a really well executed song from Eurovision 24? I will probably recommend La Noia over this one. I don't think I've ever willingly said I want to listen to I want to listen to Always on the Run outside of this exercise, but I have sought out La Noia, the Italian song. The thing is that I do that because I'm in a mood where I want to listen to La Noia. I want to evoke that feeling. I have rarely skipped Always on the Run. I have skipped La Noia many, many times. But when Always on the Run comes on, I'm less likely to skip it. I'm not seeking it out, but I'm enjoying it while it's playing. I hope that makes sense. Number 13. Ukraine. Oh, damn it, Ukraine. I was all ready to crater this one, and you had to do me the disrespect of being really friggin' good. Like, okay, we are not in the top 10 here, but the harmonies are ethereal, I think is the word I'm looking for. The rapping doesn't really feel intrusive, and the music is just so good. I love the bass in this track. And most importantly, we've got a prophecy rock. I love a prophecy rock. This is fantastic staging. But remember, this is Ukraine, and Ukraine always knows how to put on a show for us. The costuming is excellent, and I don't know why I said costuming that way, but it is excellent. And the lighting, the visual effects, and there's that beautiful like overhead shot of them lying down on the stage, but the stage is projecting just a picture of all these women, so you kind of can't make them out unless you're looking for it. That's really good. We are now entering the part of the list where we have some total packages here where everything is working in unison. Number 12. Lithuania. Now, according to a press release that LRT sent out, Sylvester Belt apparently said that he wanted to show the fun side of Lithuania. Yes, fun. You remember This Time? You remember Eastern European funk? You remember discotheque? You remember We Are the Winners of Eurovision? No. Luktelk is the real fun Lithuania. It's the most ebullient song this side of Tavo Arkis. You remember? The one where the man could only cry in my dreams? Or maybe he could cry only in my dreams. Maybe he could only cry only in my dream. I don't know. Look, I don't know how the translation for that song worked, but this expertly crafted piece of dark club music, and by now you should know that this is my catnip, is about the hell's a poppin' wacky topic of the listlessness of existence. Look, my family's from Vidman, and I don't need this man telling me that this is a fun topic for his country. Like, look at these lyrics. I no longer want to dance, but I need to dance. That's too friggin' real. The paralyzing anxiety about what tomorrow brings. Like, I'm feeling okay now, but 2024 was a different kettle of fish for me. Look, if I approach this seriously, this is at number 12. I will joke. I will meme. But this is amazingly atmospheric. The bass pounds relentlessly. Those synths are suitably ominous, and there's a little smattering of Spanish guitar that's just excellent. It's bleak, it's resilient, it's powerful. But you know what it isn't, Sylvester? It's not fun. Number 11. Switzerland. I feel like someone put every single non-binary cliche into a machine and it pumped out Nemo. If you don't know any NBs, trust me, that was quite the read. Okay, so I love the lyrics. And that beat is really sweet. But you know what? I am over this operatic showboating for the juries. Like, it's 2 years in a row now with JJ's win in 25, and I tell you, I barely tolerated it in Zero Gravity back in 19, and Kate Miller-Heidke is A, Australian, and B, on a pole. Nemo's twinky, roller rink, lazy, Susan on a pivot shenanigans might well play well to the cheap seats, but the court is in session, and the Honourable Mike Moritz will not put up with your peach fuzz showboating. You thus are lucky, McSmetler, that this song goes as hard as it does, because did it not, you would be banished back to the bee's dick bracket of the lower 20s, and I don't want to go there again. Next case. Top 10. We have points now. So, the 1 point from the Moritz jury goes to Cyprus. I have nothing bad to say about this one. I feel like this more than anything indicates my kind of preference with Eurovision. It is inoffensive, it ticks the boxes. In this entry, Fuego has been photocopied, and those photocopies have been photocopied and has been reiterated so often that the results are indistinguishable from a middle-of-the-road dance pop number. But this is fine. There is nothing cringe here. It has good bones. It's the kind of fun female dance pop that Cyprus thrives at sending. It does nothing wrong, and it doesn't offend me by its existence. If I were to force a criticism, I would be forcing a criticism, and that's not operating in good faith. I enjoy this. Am I a passionate defender of it? No. But I am not going to haul Celia up in front of the tribunal for making a pop song that I enjoyed. 2 points go to the Netherlands. So, I hate Eurovision songs about Eurovision. That is not what this is. But we are in that arena, so watch it. Look, it's obnoxious listing of European stuff annoys me. And look, I understand the connection to his dad, but this evokes a specific kind of cringe in me that draws my asshole into my elbows. Having said that, it is still number 9 because it is an expertly crafted bit of fun and silly pop that is just a joy to listen to. Its energy is infectious, it's bouncy and fun. Jost is such a weird yet charming performer. It's hard not to get brought into the emotion and joy of the piece. This is a song. Europapa is a song that is so well made that it overcomes all of the negatives I have with it. Alright. Number 8. 3 points. Remember when we were back at number 21? And I said that my search for gold turned up 3 big nuggets of gold. Well, this is number 2. And again, it's me criminally underrating Spain. Now, while Spain maybe aren't the best every year, are reliably good. No, stop it. We're not talking about that one. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Cool your jets on that one. But this is... Thora is the exact kind of modern synth pop I adore. You know, it sounds like it's a level from Neon Drive, but without all the laser lines. No, instead we've got garish gold and lush plush red leather, I guess, maybe. Scantily clad men and a woman who is acting like an absolute fox, and I'm translating Thora as fox because I know the other translation and I do not have the privilege to use it in that translation without it being misconstrued. You know what the best thing about this song is? The absolute best thing about this song is that it finishes 2 minutes in. They're done. They've finished it. They could have quit the song there and it's fine. But they're like, nah, we can do better. So they kick it up a notch. They introduce a whole nother part of the song and elevate the energy more than it already was. It's not by a tempo change and it's not by a key change, I don't think. No, it's not. But they just add a new bit and it's the best bit of the song. The tone just brightens and you've got the crowd just chanting, Thora, Thora, Thora. Oh. Thora has shot to the top of my Spotify most played, and I am never mad when it comes on. This song is great. Honorable mention, because you cannot vote for your own country. It's Australia. The song is One Milkali by the Electric Fields. And I must tell you right now that the space between Thora and One Milkali is like atom thin. These songs are so close together, but for very different reasons. I'll give you a bit of context here. So, Electric Fields have been in the Aussie Vision conversation for years. We had our first national final in 2019, and they presented our jury votes in 2019. So people have been mentioning their name as possible entrants for longer than Voyager, at least as far as I know. And to see them singing in native language with native instrumentation, it strikes a chord with me that goes deeper and more profound than the absolute elation that I get listening to Thora. I will avoid naming the instrument that he's playing on stage because we have so many nations down here and I'm pretty sure that they have a bunch of different words for it and I'm going to get it wrong, but what researching this act did tell me is that the word didgeridoo is a white fella word, and I tried not to use it anymore, cause no. But what really breaks my heart about One Milkali is that the staging is absolute ass. There is no costuming cohesion. The camera work is functional, and that's me being generous. The backing dancers come out of freaking nowhere. The screen work on the back is uninspired, and the lighting is generic. Like, I love like the Aboriginal artwork on the floor and everything, but it just doesn't. It's a bunch of elements that have just been thrown together and hoping that it carries it. The song freaking slaps, but it needed more love from the production team to really transcend. 4 points. Hey kids, you like Whiplash? So the 20s have seen a surprising amount of songs inspired by or evoking witchcraft themes or folk magic. This year, Bambi Thug brings a really muddy and thorny edge to the theme this year. This isn't the elfin charms of Latvia 25 or the primal fireside drumming of France 22. This is grimy and confronting hedge magic, burying ritual jars in your yard or drowning poppets of you in fetid swamps. This is not pretty, and it is not meant to be. This is an angry 3-minute curse incorporating electro, metal, and blues. I don't know if this is based in any form of magical practice, but if you told me that Bambi was on stage actually hexing an ex of theirs in front of millions of people, I would not be surprised. They are terrifying, and I mean that both as a compliment and as a please don't hurt me. Now, I might be showing my extremely limited experience in this kind of music, but my main point of reference for this song was the music of Poppy, or that Poppy. I always found listening to Poppy a little bit too harsh. I really wanted to get into her stuff, but I found it a little too caustic for me. And Doomsday Blue is just like a degree or two softer for me, and that's all I really needed to get into it. Because I usually shy away from the very aggressive genres, but with this, Bambi managed to find that sweet spot, and I thank them for it. 5 points go to Luxembourg. Now, Luxembourg's return really hit me by surprise just because of how effortlessly catchy every single section is. The melodious flow of the verses that only French can provide. Like, I really love, and this is such a little thing, I really love how she says sirene. I'm saying that wrong, but sirene, like, I love how she says that. The chorus is wonderfully smooth. I love the little middle 8 and then the chill build up to the final chorus. Wow. I don't think it's as polished as Cypress, but I feel like it's more interesting and also a more rewarding listen. The CGI, these jaguars, leopards, they're a choice. But I have seen worse at WWE. The only thing that I'm not super high on is that downward vocal run at the end of the chorus, the da 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 da. But that's also the catchiest part of the song, and it's also the part that brought me back enough times to appreciate all the other things that I've mentioned I love about the song. I'm not immune to earworms. I did have this in my top 5 originally, but as I reviewed the list, it got edged out by a few real standouts. So, 6 points go to Austria. My thesis for Austria is things don't need to be complicated to be good. This song is the perfect version of itself. A mid-20s throwback to the golden age of Eurodance that is in itself about Eurodance. I don't have much more to say about this because it's so earnestly itself in form and function. further comments. With the bisexual lighting and the laser screen displays, this looks like a level of Neon Drive. Probably the level that Zara's music was for. Look, what is there to add? It's a rave song about raving, and it's excellent. 7 points go to Poland. Alright, let's cut to the chase here. This song is fine for about 30 seconds. 45-second count on the YouTube of the live show. We've got like a nice chess theme going. I don't want to call her outfit couture. Actually, no, I do want to call her outfit couture, but I don't know what that means. It feels like it's couture. Whatever that is. So far, so good. Nice synth vibe, nothing to write home about. And then, broken bodies scattered through my history. And then the synth switch up, and they start pumping. And at this point, I am on board. Like, Lunarina even does the lying on the floor and pretending that she's standing on a prop bit that we saw in Luxembourg 25. I was watching this with a mate of mine, and my mate was like, what happened to the horse? And I'm like, dude, that was on the floor. And they were like, what? I love this song so much. This song is great. I was actually, back in 2024, I was working with a Polish woman during the contest, and I let her know. It's like, hey, I voted for Poland. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she went off and watched it, and she didn't like it. But I do. If I had any critiques of it, it does feel a little soft. I wish that there was a song that touched on similar themes, but had more edge and intensity. Like this one! If there's one song that epitomizes my search for gold in 2024, it is Czechia's blistering anthem of self-reliance and not accepting empty gestures, which kills on the album version and is only improved in the live version. Would you believe that I forgot this song existed before I actually started work on this video? And here it is at number 3. How I never hear anyone mention this one when talking about Eurovision robberies, I do not know. But for me, Pedestal is up there with Hore Roni in the conversation for me. Like, I love this song. It feels fierce without feeling preachy. The band sounds amazing. And I love that because it's a tape, they just put them on the screens and let Aiko have some dances. Her hair looks amazing, by the way. And look, let's actually talk about these screens because I haven't mentioned them before now. The stage is set up in like a Swiss cross, which is funny because Switzerland ended up winning, but it's an equidistant cross with these light boxes that will descend down and can ascend up, and they have screens on every side of them. They've been used inconsistently by the acts, like they made like a narrow passageway in Sweden. But the Czechs have done the best thing by them. They show the band while the girls are dancing below them, and then the mid-song break happens, which is what is on screen right now. So when I was listening to it on Spotify, I was like, how do they do the argument in the song? I just assumed, oh, maybe that's just for the album version. But no, oops, sorry. But no, I got so excited, I switched it forward. They broadcast it through a window, like it's a cutscene in Layers of Fear 2 or something. And then through TV static, we see Aiko and the dancers inside the cube. And then they used like flashlights to just like build back up to the I will be loving me more. It's like, oh, I haven't even mentioned the outfits, which look amazing as well. Please, just go, stop right now, go watch Pedestal. I don't even care if you come back to this video at this point. I don't do this for the views. Go watch Pedestal. Give this amazing performance more love. This song's amazing. Right. 10 points go to Croatia. The big upset. No. What's he done? Make no mistake. Make no mistake, viewers, this is the peak of a blistering run that Croatia has been on in the 20s and is the song of 2024 that deserves its place amongst the Eurovision canon. A raucous celebration of social anxiety and urban isolation with a killer riff and a hook to match. The energy is overwhelming. The chorus threads the needle of being celebratory while also not shying away from the dark themes. And what is even more amazing is how effortless Baby Lasagna makes this seem. You should not be able to sing about mental illness while creating such a perfect fusion of rock and dance. I mean that, a perfect blend. I've only used that word for one other song in this list, and that was Austria. That was pure dance. This is a perfect fusion of rock and dance. It takes it above and beyond. Baby is the GOAT of 2024, and his return appearance in the 25 contest shows his true place amongst the stars, where he belongs. However, 12 points go to Finland. So, obvious question, what makes this better than Rim Tim? Well, while Rim Tim is about dancing through anxiety, No Rules is about euphoria. Yes, the staging is impossibly silly. The story of a man cracking out of an egg and finding happiness in the right clothes is not the staging I would have chosen for this. But as I have mentioned in other entries in this show, if you get it, you get it. We've had a lot of serious entries in the show. I think in my top 10, only Thora and Europapa even orbit the realm of fun. Rim Tim has energy, but I wouldn't say that it is inherently fun. This is fun. The staging with the creative camera angles obscuring his, quote, nudity, jean shorts descending on high like manna from heaven, and then they're on fire from some reason. Like, this would have you believe it's a joke. But, like, if I can quote directly from here, is there something wrong with the way I look? Is there something wrong with who I am? If I'm not all right, tell me, why do I feel so beautiful tonight? There is craft here. The vocals are silk and gravel, those gorgeous piano drums, those dated drum machines. Like, this is what happens when you put a lot of work into making it seem like you aren't. And when that chorus soars, man, it soars. Like, they tricked you by making you watch a funny sketch about a man with no pants into listening to a truly beautiful song about the ecstatic euphoria of being yourself. And that is why it's better than Rim Tim. So, that is our list. But I'm curious. We have our points from 2024. We have our points from 2025. What happens when we combine them together? Well, we can see here that our top three are Luxembourg with 18 points. Finland with 18 points. Luxembourg with 17 points. And Croatia with 13 points. From there's just a smattering of people who have, either done well or done not well, and it continues down. The problem here is that, of course, 2024 was the first contest that Luxembourg had competed in around about 30 years, and so it looks like Croatia is kind of the only country that can really challenge Finland at this point. And we are heading into 2023 next, and if you know what happens in that contest, well, you can wait for that video. Now, going into this, I was sure that my top three songs were going to be No Rules, Rim Tim, and then The Doll from 2025. However, sorry, Pedestal's a better song. Look, Czechia has some fun entries ahead, but I don't see them knocking off this underrated classic. Just off the top of my head, I can't think of a song that Czechia has sent that I love more than Pedestal. Continuing down the list, we have the Latvian Sprites at number 5, Bada Bada Bastu at 6, Sauna Boys, The Tower, Espresso Macchiato, Ich Komme, Jam. They're absolutely. When I go back to Jam, it's so good. Seriously, just listen to the Albanian entry from this year so many times. It's wonderful. Roa, We Will Rave, then Fighter, the Luxembourg entry from this year at 13. Doomsday Blue, Thora, Europapa, then the other Croatian entry, Poison Cake, Tutta l'Italia, Strobe Lights, Liar, The Code, Gaia, Essa Diva, Voyage, Bala, and Luktelk. Now, there's one thing that I don't necessarily like about this list, which is that we've got the double ups. We've got 2 Luxembourgs, we've got 2 Finns, we've even got 2 Spains. So I'm just wondering what happens if we reduce it so that each country can only have 1 song. Well, we get this. It's an interesting list, slightly different. Thora makes it to the left side of the board, which I'm very happy about. And the songs that reach up to the bottom are Ukraine's Teresa and Maria, Jaco, Ulveham, Volova Essere Onduro, the beautiful Claudia's Astromata, and then coming up the end, we get Dizzy. That last spot, in case you're curious, was a duel between Dizzy and Deslocado, the Portuguese entry from 2025. But I just think Dizzy's just got more of it going on there. Now, I pretend that you ask, what about Australia? We want to hear the Australian man's decisions about how everything comes together. Well, yes. I mean, some people might say that I exclude them from my rankings arbitrarily. So let's actually look at the Australian entries here. And, well, I've got some bad news, but Milkshake Man beats out One Milkali. Look, One Milkali is great. It's a wonderful, very evocative and effective piece of art, but Milkshake Man is just so infectiously fun and silly. I want Gojo to host our broadcast team next year with Courtney Act. He understood the assignment and he was actually given the production that he needed, and I maintain that he was screwed over by just the crowd mics. I reckon if they actually had the authentic crowd sound, they probably would have been enough to push him into 10th position. What else is there that I can talk about? I've talked about the songs that I liked. I've talked about the countries that have ranked the highest. I've talked about the Australian entries. Oh yes, I suppose I should talk about the bottom 10. Unsurprisingly, Zari is at the bottom. And you know what the worst thing is? I have had a bit of a think about the songs that we have coming up in the contest over the next couple of years, at least that I can remember. And I can't think of a single song that I like worse than Zari. I can't think of a single song that gives me the visceral reaction of dislike that Zari does. There may be a worse song out there, but when I discover it, I dread that day. The rest I will read through in case you're listening to this. Number 2, the Slovenian entry, How Much Time Do We Have Left? You might remember that as the song about how happy he was that his wife died because his wife actually didn't die. Yeah, that was what it felt like watching the stage performance. Number 3, Like a Party, because no one likes a party song about a dead dog. Then the Georgian entry from 25, Freedom. Just didn't kind of work to me. Then the Estonian boys from this year, 24, just Bad Execution, Shh or Hush, from 25, the Cypriot entry. In the middle, from Moldova this year, just Poor Execution. At 8, 11, 11. Megara getting on there was a bit of a surprise for me. It is a mess. It's a pretty mess, but it's still a mess. And then at number 9, we've got Loop, the Maltese entry that we talked about earlier. And then at number 10, it's the Montenegrin entry, Dobrodošli, that is only there because we needed something to be in number 10. Dobrodošli is not a bad song. And that's it. I've got nothing more to say about these songs. I want to go home. I can't think of anything more to say. Look, 2023 is next. It is the first the first contest of the United by Music era. And while I don't think that I'm going to have to get so granular about why songs are where they are, I'm going to have a lot to talk about because some of the lyrical content of the songs from 2023 are very fascinating. So I look forward to ranking that one. But for now, I've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes straight, and my voice is starting to feel very scratchy. So I maybe need a lozenge or a warm milk. Anyway, until next we meet, united by music, I'm Mike Moritz. Good night and take care.